All right, today we're tackling something huge. A theoretical blueprint for a system that's designed to connect, cross-reference, and basically make sense of all the world's data. It's a concept called GCIQ. And yeah, it's pretty much a plan for a global brain. Let's get right into it.
Does this sound familiar? I bet it does. It's a quote from the source material for this explainer, and it just nails a very modern feeling. We're practically drowning in data, but finding real, clear answers can feel completely impossible. And that feeling, that information paralysis, that is the exact problem GCIQ is trying to solve.
So here's the thing. The issue isn't a lack of information. It's that all our information lives in these separate prisons. We have incredible data on everything from weather patterns to financial markets, but it's all stuck in independent silos. Different companies, different countries, different formats that just don't talk to each other.
And this comparison really gets to the heart of it, doesn't it? On one side, that's us, right now. This massive, chaotic sea of raw material. On the other side, that's the goal, to turn it all into a perfectly organized library, a single, powerful engine where all knowledge is connected, and you can find what you need instantly. So what if we could just smash those silos to pieces? Well, that's the incredibly compelling vision from technologist Guy Lakeman. His theoretical system is called the Global Center for Intelligence Questioning, or GCIQ. It's a blueprint for shifting us from that fragmented mess to a universal web of knowledge.
Now, this is a really important point to get. There are two parts here. Think of GCIQ as the building itself, the institutional shell. It's the physical place, the rules, the governance model. But the real magic, the brain inside that building, is the technology itself, the open ownership intelligence engine that does all the heavy lifting.
And those two words, open ownership, they are absolutely key. The philosophy is simple. A tool this powerful cannot be owned or controlled by any one government or any single corporation, because if it were, you'd just be creating the world's biggest, most powerful silo. For this to truly work and be trusted, it has to be for everyone. So how do you actually keep it open? How do you stop one group from eventually taking over? Well, the whole idea is to design it from the ground up to be decentralized. Power isn't concentrated in one place. It's distributed among all the people who use it. This design is supposed to make sure the system evolves to help the public, not just a handful of powerful interests.
Okay, we've got the what and the why. Big ideas. But what about the how? How would an ordinary person like you or me actually connect to this massive global brain? Let's take a look at how it would be set up.
You know, the craziest part is, the way you'd connect is actually meant to be pretty simple. It relies on technology you already have. 1, you'd use your own device, your phone, your tablet, whatever. 2, you'd have the interface software. And 3, the really crucial piece of the puzzle, something called the Global Internet Token.
I mean, let's be real. Your phone would literally melt if you asked it to cross-reference 1,000 global databases. That's where this token comes in. It's like your digital key. It's the bridge that connects your little device to the system's absolute monster processing power. It handles all the hard work for you somewhere else. So if you zoom out, the big picture looks kind of like this. The internet itself becomes the neural network, all the connections. On one side, you have the entire pool of global data, and then you have two main ways to connect to it: individual users like us, and high-volume enterprise users. But critically, we're all tapping into the exact same core intelligence.
And that leads us to the two different ways you could access the system. Level 1, that's for the individual global citizen, you and me. We'd use our personal devices for research, and access would be free or very low cost. Level 2 is for the big players, companies, governments, who need to run millions of queries all the time. They would pay a subscription, and that's how the whole system would be funded.
Okay, this is where it gets really cool. We've talked about the why and the how, but what could a system like this actually do? Let's dive into some real-world examples that show off the power of connecting all those dots. Just think about this question for a second. Answering this today takes teams of experts, months, sometimes even years. It means trying to piece together dozens of totally separate, really complex sets of data. But with a system like GCIQ, you could get an answer instantly. The key is its ability to layer all this different data that never usually talks to each other. So it's not just about finding a sunny spot. It's about combining solar data with historical cloud cover, with terrain data, with local energy needs, all at the same time. And the result? It's a total game changer. You get an immediate, globally optimized answer. This would let an entrepreneur anywhere in the world ask where they should build their next solar farm to be most effective,
and get a solid, real-time response. It would completely revolutionize resource planning.
Let's take that same idea of layering data and apply it to a geopolitical example. Imagine you want to find the areas of greatest human need in the ASEAN region. GCIQ would start with Layer 1, real-time population data. Then it would overlay Layer 2, a map of all the existing infrastructure. And finally, add a third layer of economic and utility data.
And when you snap those layers together, the result is incredibly powerful. You can instantly see where a dense population is struggling with weak infrastructure and low resource use. You can identify these acute hotspots. Suddenly, aid is no longer just reacting to a crisis, it can become proactive and surgically precise.
You know, a great way to think about this comes right from the source material. The real power of a system like this isn't in creating new data, it's in creating new connections between the data we already have. It's just like in our brains. It takes countless inputs, the dendrites, and integrates them to form a brand new, valuable connection, a synapse of pure insight.
And that brings us right back to the beginning. See, this isn't just about faster computing for experts and scientists. It's about a fundamental, philosophical shift in who gets access to comprehensive, global-scale insight.
The ultimate promise here is the democratization of insight. Plain and simple. It's about giving every single individual a tool to ask incredibly complex, multi-layered questions and get answers that are drawn from the world's complete knowledge base. It's a way to level up our collective intelligence.
When you really dig into it, the GCIQ concept makes you wonder about the breakthroughs we might be missing out on right now simply because we can't connect the right dots. And it leaves you with a final thought. If you had this tool tomorrow, and you could ask anything you wanted of all the world's data, what's the very first global question you would ask?